Yo, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Kid Max, and today we got another one. Yo, what's good, YouTube family? Before we get started, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Show your boys some love. We've been putting in some work, man, trying to just stay on the grind. You know what I'm saying? And just keeping it going for you guys. So, without further ado, we just finished witnessing a very intriguing game with the Hornets versus the Brooklyn Nets, which, the Hornets got the dub for this game. And what a game, might I say. What a game. Very intriguing game. Very interesting, if I may say so myself. A lot of takes. I have a lot of opinions on this game. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. All right. And we're going to talk about the stats on both teams here. And we're going to break it down for you guys right now. Okay. So let's get to it. So the game pretty much overall today was very back and forth. It was a very back and forth game. As you can see here, Hornets first quarter 27, Nets 31. Second quarter, Hornets 23, Nets 27. Third quarter, Hornets 29, Nets 20. And then the fourth quarter, Hornets took them over and pretty much blew them out the water with 32-17. At this point, the Brooklyn Nets are pretty demoralized and drained as they're still finding their identity without Kyrie Irving, and I'll get to that whole breakdown in a second. But we're gonna focus on the winners today first, which is the Hornets, the Charlotte Hornets, and we're gonna go ahead and break down what we saw from their players today. All right. So first person we see, first score we see on the scoreboard is Ish Smith with 15 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds, 7 for 15 from the field, 1 for 1 from the three-point line. Now, I mentioned this in my other video that I felt like Ish Smith was a really good pickup for them and played really well, and he was a significant factor in their last victory. I mentioned that in my video. Make sure you guys go check it out in their previous game. And what I like about Ish Smith is his energy, his I like his shot, and I like his mindset on the court. You know what I'm saying? He came with a lot of praise from Washington fans, but I had never seen him play before. And seeing him with Charlotte since the beginning, I always felt he had good energy from the first game, all the way back to preseason. Excuse me. I apologize, guys. All the way back to preseason, I felt like he had a pretty solid game. And I liked his confidence on the court, and it just felt pretty good, you know what I'm saying, to see him play. He felt like a very efficient player. And quite frankly, I'm going to put this out there. This is probably going to go up to about 13, 14, 15. I think he's going to average 15, 14. He's going to start, putting up some more numbers. This might go up to like maybe 2 or 3, and this is probably going to go up to like 8. So he's gonna bring his numbers up the rest of this year. I got a good feeling about it. Because if you notice his other games, look, he got 14 points here. He got 2 points there, but 15. And then his I don't know what game this is necessarily, but I think that's maybe his average right now. But 13 assists, or this is a different game, but yeah, his points are going to go up very soon. I think his average is going to be around 14, 13 points. His assists are going to probably go up to stay around 6, 7, 8. Going around 8, So his stats are going to come up with this team. So he should be proud of himself. Ish Smith was a significant factor in today's victory. As you guys know, Melo didn't even play the fourth quarter. James Borrego wanted to rest Melo. I didn't like it at first. I was kind of hesitant. I didn't really but one thing I'll say is I get it because they're having a back-to-back. So I'll give James Borrego, I'll give him leniency on that because it was a back-to-back, but I don't want to see it become too much of a habit, man. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to big games. But, it's understandable in this game because it was a back-to-back. But we still want to see LaMelo get that wear in. We want to see LaMelo get that work in when it comes to the end of the games, especially big games. We want to see LaMelo get those reps in to be able to close games out for their team and get for big games, because that's important for them to do that, because he wasn't able to do that all last year until towards the end of the year when he finally got more minutes. But all last year he was going in and out the lineup. and it was during big moments. So we want to make sure that he gets that experience this year. So, James Borrego, keep doing your thing. Trust yourself as a coach, but, don't get too comfortable, man. Definitely good to give your team confidence, but, you know, but respect to James Borrego and the Hornets for pulling it off. And I'm really happy to see what they did. Kelly Oubre only 9 points tonight, 1 assist, 9 rebounds. Wasn't really hitting from the field too much. Really wasn't able to get a lot going, but play decent defense. All right. Terry didn't play. Let's see. LaMelo 18, 5 and 5. Like I said, 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. He wasn't really hitting his threes. 8 for 18 from the field goal line. I think LaMelo would have gotten some more threes to throw if he had played the fourth. He kind of turns up towards the end of the games. But ultimately, again, he needed the rest. And ultimately, what I'm saying, I think it's all just James Borrego feeling the need to rest him for tomorrow's big game against the Boston Celtics. So totally understandable considering how Ish Smith and Cody Martin were playing and the bench was playing together as a unit. You want to give those guys confidence when you have a chance. So totally understandable, especially based on how the Brooklyn Nets are playing, which was completely not that well. You know what I'm saying? Not really able to get their shots and kind of getting shut down by the Charlotte Hornets defense, quite frankly. I'll get to the Brooklyn Nets in a second, but LaMelo didn't play too long this game. Didn't play in the fourth quarter whatsoever, but played decent throughout. And I think he would have scored. He probably would have went up to like 23, 24 points tonight had he played in the fourth quarter. He definitely would have started hitting some more shots, or he would have started to drive in the basket more. That's for sure. He would have started to drive more, and he would have gotten more shots to go down. So it's all right, but good game from LaMelo. Let's see here. Then we got Cody Martin, again, 12 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Good game from Cody Martin. Like I said, I feel like him and his brother are underrated in regards to their contribution to a team when they're in the right role. And, I'm glad we still got a Martin twin. You know what I'm saying? I think they bring a lot to the table defensively, high IQ and high hustle. And you see him hit some shots tonight. He hit some threes tonight. And he also was very present in the paint and defensive end. So shout out to Cody Martin. I look forward to seeing him continue to develop as well throughout the year. All right. Who else we got here? And then I think that's about it as far as primary. Oh yeah, Miles Bridges. Gordon Hayward wasn't really able to 4 from 11, 0 from 4. Gordon Hayward was pretty cold. So, again, Gordon Hayward and LaMelo weren't hitting their shots as much as we would like to see. But again, I think Melo would have started hitting a bit more during the game. I don't want to see Borrego get too comfortable with not playing him in the fourth quarter. I hope this is just a one-off situation. I want to mention it right now. Don't be doing that every big game. And I mean, unless the back-to-back, I can get that because, but he did it pretty. He didn't play in the whole fourth. But there's a reason for everything because LaMelo looks like he's pretty sore. LaMelo's always stretching and massaging himself. So LaMelo, they know a bit more about LaMelo's physical condition than we do. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt in regards to that and see how things pan out. But the team played well, so it's all good. But Gordon Hayward wasn't really that efficient tonight, wasn't really able to get anything really going. But he still made some great plays towards the end of the game and helped the team get the win. So I really like Jalen McDaniels as well. I look forward to seeing more of him in the future. I think he's got a big presence for the team, just like PJ, because last year they played really well. But let's get to Miles Bridges. 32 points, 2 assists, 9 rebounds. Really, really great game from Miles Bridges, man. Really aggressive all night. Just balling, man. He's just balling right now, and he's finding him shot. I think their chemistry as a team is developing really well. I think Melo at the head of the ship is helping the team chemistry because they have a focus and an identity, which is important. We're seeing everybody really developing their role and find ways to find their star power within their role, which is significant, which takes time. It takes trust. And it takes team chemistry and team development over time to really be a star in your role once you're able to pick your spots and find your spaces in the game throughout the game. So I think that's what Miles Bridges has done since last year, since playing with LaMelo. And I think we're going to see him only thrive further and get bigger and better. So I'm really happy to see Miles Bridges thriving and getting and developing well. Okay, now let's get to the Brooklyn Nets. Let's get to the Brooklyn Nets because this is significant, right? And I do plan on covering the Brooklyn Nets this year. I do plan on covering more videos. I was planning on covering them with Kyrie there, but obviously, the Kyrie situation is pretty shaky considering the mandate in New York, which is trash, but it's there, and we have to deal with it for now. Or the Brooklyn Nets have to deal with it right now until maybe they're lucky enough to get a new mayor, because there's rumors swirling around and there's talks swirling around that if New York City, excuse me, if New York City gets a new mayor, the mandate will go away and Kyrie Irving will be able to play again. And a lot of people will be able to work again and do different things that they're not able to do right now in New York because of the vaccination mandate, which is very sad, right? But let's go ahead and get to this box score, right? So Joe Harris, 7 points, 0 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 for 3 from the 3-point line, 3 for 6. Didn't really shoot too much, wasn't really that active tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing more from Joe Harris in the future when it comes to Brooklyn Nets, but tonight he wasn't really that active. Hasn't really found his flow yet. And I got to keep studying the Brooklyn Nets to really break it down for you guys, and I'll be doing that throughout the season. James Harden, 15 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 for 8 from 3, 6 for 16 from the field. James Harden, quite frankly, I think just wasn't able to really find his flow, find his rhythm. He tried, he got to the line a couple times, and he did what he could. He tried to get himself in a rhythm, but ultimately, I think the Charlotte Hornets defense was just too much. The pressure was just too much, and we have to remember that they are still gelling as a team, considering they barely played all together last year because of injuries, right? So this is a fresh team still, and now they're having to completely revamp their identity with just him and Kevin Durant without Kyrie, which is a big deal because Kyrie is a major presence on that shooting guard position and to play that reverse point guard role. So it's unfortunate that they're having to go through this, but I'm just curious to see how they handle it, considering Kyrie Irving made a choice that is his free choice, and he shouldn't be pressured for it because a lot of people don't realize, but COVID-19 was not in his NBA contract, right? So he made a decision based on something that popped up after the fact that he had already signed his contract. A lot of people are trying to make it seem like Kyrie Irving made this decision as selfish and it's going against the organization and the team, but in reality, he was told that he was have contingencies against COVID-19 because when he signed his contract, apparently based on his own words from his Instagram live, that's on my video, he was told he would have contingencies, because it was something that was an ongoing situation when he signed his contract and before the mandates came into place. So, this is something that has to be talked about. It's going to be talked about all year, especially if the Nets continue to struggle like this. And it's just unfortunate because I feel bad for James Harden and Kevin Durant because it's going to make them look like they're not as valuable players, but they're going to find a way to make the team good again. And, they're going to find a way to lock in and find their identity and develop their game plan as they are more and more able to focus in on the season. Personally, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. So yeah, James Harden, he really tried, but just wasn't able to find his flow and wasn't able to really get going from the field on any level. And unfortunately, that cost them. That was a big part of their loss tonight. Even though he was, primary scorer, just they wasn't able to really find a flow. I'm not even gonna go to the rest of these guys. We're gonna go to the main scorers here. Patty Mills. I think Patty Mills is gonna have to play way better for them, in order for them to have a shot because he's a good young point guard, and ultimately they're gonna need him to be a bit more in the San Antonio type play style of playing and just being more aggressive if they're gonna have a shot because he has the skills, but they're gonna need him to be more aggressive if they're gonna have a shot at even filling Kyrie's shoes at all whatsoever. And the only other top scorer there was tonight was Kevin Durant, with 38 points, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds, 2 for 6 from the 3, 17 for 24. And KD had a slow start tonight. He had a kind of slow start, but KD's game is patient. KD's game is observant, and he's very confident and strong. And I like that he led the team and he did his best as well. But they're still adjusting, and that takes time for everybody to figure out how they're going to take over the game and when they need to take over the game when their teammates don't have it going, right? And so we saw him try to do that in the fourth quarter, but it was just maybe a little bit too late, and he didn't really have any other help because nobody else was really making shots. So it kind of just staled out, and nothing was really able to happen because of that. Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think people are seeing that Kyrie Irving's presence is definitely needed, and it's not to me, you know, his presence being needed isn't a hindrance or a negative against Kevin Durant or James Harden. It's just the league is getting better and better, and there's a reason why super teams. There's going to be multiple super teams in the league. The Hornets are a small super team themselves to a degree, okay? But they have a bigger, more. They wouldn't be getting that title because everybody isn't really, besides Melo, isn't considered to be like a major player except for Gordon Hayward. But they have that capacity because they have a full bench and starting lineup that's very, very profound and deep. So they would be considered a small super team, in my opinion, because their bench is so strong. Just like the reason why the Brooklyn Nets are considered super teams because they have three superstars and Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. But then they also have, you know, so many other players like LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, and Patty Mills, and different players like that on their bench and going in and out of the starting lineup. So, you know, it's just a real interesting situation right now this year for Brooklyn. What I wanted to mention, you know, I'm going to go ahead and end this, take it off of here because that's pretty much, that was in LaMarcus Aldridge, 9 points, 8 rebounds. You know, I'm glad LaMarcus Aldridge is back in the league. I'm looking forward to seeing him develop with the Brooklyn Nets and seeing how far they can take things moving forward. But let's go and get off of this. And, you know, I just want to, my closing statements for the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, I think that it's unfortunate that they live in a city that's putting them under this type of situation with Kyrie Irving. And it's just unfortunate. And I'm looking forward to hopefully they get a new mayor so those mandates can go away so people can be free to live, you know, to get vaccinated or not to get vaccinated based on their situation. I mean, we're not in a zombie apocalypse where people are obviously killing each other from passing it. I mean, people are dying, and it's unfortunate. But there's also people who have immunity, and that has to be acknowledged. And so, you know, creating a mandate is just going to do nothing but make it harder for your city because obviously the Brooklyn Nets are a big representation of that city. And so you've seen how they're having they're up in the halftime show in order to fulfill that presence. And it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But I salute KD and I salute James Harden for staying down for Kyrie and not selling out and not being not allowing the pressure to make him a scapegoat and not allowing the pressure to make them turn on him because that's what the media is going to do, especially as the fans get more and more frustrated, especially as these sports bettors lose more and more money. You know, they're going to be putting the pressure on Kyrie Irving a little bit more. And it's going to be up to KD and James Harden as leaders of that team to really not allow him to be put in a corner unnecessarily, considering, again, that he stated that, again, COVID was not in his contract. And that has to be honored as well. And I know he's in a tough position. He's in a tough place right now. I know Kyrie wanted to play this game. You know, it would have been an amazing game to see Kyrie versus LaMelo going back and forth. It would have been amazing to see them defending each other and both of them crossing each other. But we were robbed from that. You know, we were robbed from that. So it is what it is. And until then, we have to just settle for this type of situation. And it's unfortunate. But I'll be keeping you guys posted on the stories throughout the season. I'll be keeping you guys posted on Kyrie Irving's situation as well as the Brooklyn Nets and the rest of Charlotte Hornets. Obviously, I follow primarily the Ball family, but there's going to be other teams I'm going to be following throughout the year, like the Brooklyn Nets, the Clippers, with Paul George and Kawhi. As Paul George is one of my favorite players. Atlanta Hawks, I'll be breaking them down as well. I've been watching some footage to kind of get some insights on the Hawks, which is my city team. So I'll be giving you guys, and you know, the Lakers, I'll be giving you guys my thoughts on them down the road. I'm kind of letting things play out right now with the Lakers. But yeah, those are the teams I pretty much plan on covering for the most part this year, besides the Chicago Bulls and the Hornets, which will be daily coverages. So yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into the Brooklyn Nets situation, the New York situation. If you guys want to know more about my thoughts about the whole vaccine situation, the whole vaccine mandate situation, just check out my vaccine NBA players say no to vaccine video, or just check out my Kyrie Irving videos, and you'll get my point, my opinion on it pretty clearly. Plus, in the vaccine video, the NBA players say no to vaccine video, I show footage of Senator Rand Paul talking to Dr. Fauci and calling him out in regards to potential lies, in regards to the whole process in Wuhan, China, and different things going on in regards to the in regards to the COVID-19 disease virus in general and how it came to be. Because I feel like we've been indoctrinated into talking about whether you should get the vaccine or not, versus us talking about where did it really come from. We've been focused on a year and a half on just talking about get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine. But for a year and a half, nobody still knows where it actually came from or how it actually got into so many people's systems. Okay, and we live in a big world with a lot of diseases daily. But one thing about us as human beings, we were born here on Earth, and we have a very high tolerance to many things. Okay, don't let them fool you into thinking that we're susceptible to just any and every disease, because we're not. Yes, science is important, but so is the science of our world, and so is the science of the human body, which includes all types of medicine, not just science, not just political science, but also esoteric sciences. Okay, and it's very important to recognize that these two things are supposed to go hand in hand, and they're not supposed to be separated. Okay, so I'm not going to stay on this for too long, guys. Just want to give you guys a quick rundown of tonight's game. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Check out the other videos, guys. And without further ado, as I like to end the video, if you are dealing with suicidal thoughts, depression, negative thoughts, depressing situations, if you're going through any struggle with your family, if you're going through any challenges with, if you're homeless, you're struggling, I don't care if you have one lung. If as long as you're still breathing, you still got a shot, man. Don't give up. Don't give in. The only way is through. It's never easy, but it's always worth it. And all you gotta do is keep taking that step forward, one step at a time, one stair at a time, one brick at a time, and you can make your house. You just gotta keep going, keep believing, and never giving up on yourself. All right, guys. So I just want to leave that with you guys for tonight. And yeah, that's about it for today. And I love you guys. Thanks for all the support. Shout out to the YouTube community. Shout out to the basketball YouTube community specifically. Shout out to Flight Sports TV. Shout out to Hoop Jargon. Shout out to For All to Envy. Make sure you guys check out his channel. Shout out to AV the Hero as well. And shout out to Ball Facts, for being so consistent. And I've seen him grow from the beginning. I was there before he was showing his face. So it's cool to see him grow. But yeah, shout out to you guys in the YouTube community, everybody doing their thing. And shout out to everybody that's been supporting me. Shout out to Rap God Reloaded. Shout out to Zay Blaze. Shout out to SMG Cash Out. Shout out to the Pope. Shout out to the Pope as well. He's grinding. Shout out to the Pope. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody that's been supporting me, man. It means the world. I'm gonna start doing subscriber shout outs very soon. So keep supporting me, keep showing up to the live streams, and keep showing up in the comments, guys. So like the video, leave a comment, let me know if you agree with my takes on today's game. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. So without further ado, it's your boy Kid Max, and I'm out. In the cut, sips tea, peace.